Welcome to today's episode on Reality and You, and our topic today is going to be love management. At times love works and at times it cracks. So in case your love crack, what do you do to remote the love? How do you manage love? Stay with us. That is coming from Television Nigeria. I'm here to just us. Alright, in case you're just joining us, we are still on Reality and You with our focus today, love management. Over here in the house, I have a guest, and he is no other person but Mr. Isaac Igba. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, nice having you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Igba, concerning the love management, what do you think about it? Can you brief us what you understand by love management?
Okay, first of all, we have to know what love is. Love is an emotion towards emotional affection towards a particular person or a particular thing. Okay. When you talk of a particular person, it might be your spouse or the opposite sex. When you talk of love, it comes in different forms.
All right.
The love we are focusing on today is the love for someone, not love for food, not love for money.
Yeah.
So let's focus on love for someone, on someone. When I talk of love management, it comes with what you add as spices to make that glamorous affection, that emotions to be sustained so that you won't have this kind of crackdown. It will be sustained for a very long time, not fluctuating up and down, but how you maintain it so that both the spouse will enjoy the spice of what the relationship is all about.
Okay, let's look at the relationship aspects. So, like a male and a female try to nurture love so that it can work towards marriage, and all of a sudden the love disappeared. So in such case, how do you remove the love? How do you put the love in order?
The first thing is you have to know what the cause of the crack is.
Okay.
Change is normal. It's a relatively permanent change in behavior. People change from time to time.
Yeah.
First, you have to, maybe there's a crack because the person did not act, maybe the real person, it's actually coming out later. Two, maybe there's break in communication.
Okay.
The way you used to communicate, it's not like that. Then three, fantasies. A lot of people fantasize what relationship, when they get into it, they look at it as all being rosy, perfect. A goddess looking for a perfect gentleman.
Yeah.
You think everything is perfect,
but
the reality dawns on them that life, you take it one day at a time.
Yes.
Then again, the selfishness of man. Man, generally we feel, I want to satisfy my emotional needs. You need to strike a balance. You need to strike a balance and say, this is what is happening to my spouse. She hates this, I like this. How do we strike a balance so that both of us will be happy? You understand?
Yeah.
So how we bring about mending this crack is, one, we need to compromise.
Compromise.
Yes, we need to agree. We need to sit and say, okay, what do you want? What do I want? We need to talk to each other. We need to communicate and say, okay, what's wrong with you? When I say something is wrong with you, I ask questions. I try to bear myself out to you.
Oh my God. Do you know why I'm smiling?
No.
Because at times you will ask your friend, your female friend. Yes. You know, we women, at times we don't really know what we want. You will ask someone and say, what is your problem? The person will be like, no problem, I'm okay. And you will be like, please tell me, can you please tell me what the problem is?
Is it about them not knowing or concealing it?
I don't really understand. But when you relax about the issue, they'll come up again and say, so I'm worried that you can't even ask me what the problem is. So
that's why I said you need to create that communication.
yeah,
You need to be open.
and in a
You need to be
situation
open.
whereby someone is not ready to communicate with you.
You know, you find the root cause.
Okay.
The root cause. When I say the root cause, I mean I mean someone might be coming from the office. The person might be tired.
Yes.
Stress is a factor.
Yeah.
Sometimes lack of money is also a factor. You might be looking for money. You might be emotionally stressed.
Yes.
And you get home and your spouse tries to talk to you. Sometimes you would come out and say, "Hi, I've been looking for money today. Money did not come.
Yeah.
It's because of me being moody."
Okay.
Sometimes it might not be like that. Sometimes these are things that are difficult opening up. Sometimes it's the challenge you meet. That's why I say stress. So
Yes.
this, you need to check the root cause
Okay.
of the switch in emotions. So that's important to be able. Then sometimes it's not every time someone is in the mood to talk. When you notice the mood, you also try to put the person in the right frame of mind, maybe talk of something else. Then you can revisit what you need to talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
So what you're saying now is that in order to remold or maybe rebuild relationship, where we need time, we need understanding,
Yes.
we need communication, and what else?
You need communication. Then first things first, that attraction. That's why I say love. You don't pretend
Yes.
about such things.
Okay.
You know, the first intention also matters. When you're getting into that kind of relationship and you don't state, you lie about what you feel, tomorrow it won't last. Lies do not last long.
Yes.
You notice you start acting
So meaning in relationship is not good to tell lies
at all.
because the relationship will not stand.
It won't stand.
Good.
Anything found on lies collapse quickly.
Wow.
Not just relationship, but generally about life. Even at your workplace, anything. If you go and lie about your abilities,
Yes.
it won't take time. Everything will catch up with you. Because I said, life is reality. It's not a fairy tale. So love is, you wake up each day and face the reality. It's no longer that high feeling from the beginning. It's what you do to build a friendship, to spice up your life.
Okay. So that is the relationship aspect. So let's go to marriage now.
Okay.
So if because if you don't love a woman, you won't marry the woman, and if you don't love a man, you won't marry the man. So when you come back together as husband and wife, and all of a sudden, maybe after so many years, you discover you no longer like the man, or maybe the woman doesn't like the man, or the man doesn't like the woman anymore. So in such situation, what do you think people should do?
Okay, first of all, that's the general concept and what we've preached. But just like I told you, the background.
Okay.
One, lies. A lot of people enter marriage these days, these are generally for strategic reasons. Not everybody get into marriage because of love. But for the purpose of this program, let's focus on true marriage, which
Okay.
is love, and as the foundation. It has love as the foundation. Yes, a lot of people, you find out a lot of people, they get into marriage and months later, you hear complaints like them approaching psychologists, their pastors, their imams, and telling them, I no longer understand my husband. I no longer, what I felt at the beginning is no longer there. You now start hearing statements like, he is not the person I thought I married again. So when those questions start coming up,
Yeah.
you start thinking you're living with a stranger at home. But that's something, that's what I said from the beginning. One, communication. Once you truly love each other, you leave the normal routine you used to do. One, a lot of people, when they get married, they get relaxed. I have a spouse, he's at home, she's at home. The way I used to look good before, is it not here? There's no need putting myself together again. They now live paying attention to themselves and leave themselves to be unattractive.
Okay.
2, there are people that when they start this, they continue doing same old things, visiting same places, eating same food, waking up to the same things. It might get life boring. Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah.
You do this today, you try to change tomorrow. If every time a mode of vacation is going to the village to see your parents, next year you might change that, you travel somewhere else. You might change that, okay, we will remain home this year for Christmas in the city. You can say, okay, it's just for you and your family. You people will go out. There should be variety. There should be this spice. You need to spice up the relationship. Don't get it boring.
Okay.
Don't get it boring. Let it not be the same thing you wake up to do today, the same thing you wake up to do tomorrow. So when you spice the relationship up, you build the friendship by communication, you try to, from the friendship, you notice that there are a lot of things you can't do without your spouse.
Exactly.
Yes, you notice when your spouse is not there, there are things you find you can do. That means it's dependent on you. You are dependent on yes. So those things are actually things you can do to spice up marriage.
You know, at times people will be like, this marriage is not going to work. And I also want you to talk about something like, is it good to tell people, outsiders, like third parties, good for them to know more about your marriage? Like, if something happened in your home now, you'll be like, I need to tell somebody, because they said problem shared is problem half solved. Is it half solved or problem solved?
Basically, when it comes to marriage, it's not good sharing your marital issues with a third partner, a third party. Because one, most especially family.
Okay. Your family?
Yes, because one, your family, even your extended family from both sides.
Okay.
Because one, we are human beings. Controversy are bound to happen. I might have controversy with my spouse, but the way we resolve it will be different from the way the people outside. We might have very heated arguments, heated controversy that will make it look as if it's the end. You now go out to tell your people, it brings down the respect people outside will have for your spouse. You've ended up revealing one of the weakness of your spouse. Nobody is perfect. We all have our weakness in one form or the other. So it's you and your spouse that can handle this weakness, except you read the limit that you say, okay, we don't want this anymore. You come to a compromise, then maybe you can inform, because that's a decision. But controversy, I bet you any day, it's not wise to share your problem. As you are sharing your problem with a friend might also share the same thing with another friend.
Yes.
So the whole thing is like a chain, and it will no longer be a secret.
Yes.
And at the end, when you resolve...
Is marriage supposed to be a secret?
Marriage, it's a union between two, a male and a female. What's the union between a male and a female? It's both of your business.
Okay.
So it's about you, and yes, it's not a public, it's not, whatever happens within should not be for public consumption, or it should not be the business, except when it comes to issues like violence in marriage, and when people keep going.
So when it comes to violence, where do you think people should go? Is the woman supposed to go and meet a pastor, or maybe the parents, or
when
a
it comes
counselor?
to, yes, I'll always say from a professional point of view, because of my field, psychology, it's always best to meet a professional.
Okay.
It's always best to meet a professional. maybe a psychologist to talk to you, counselor, a marriage counselor, a qualified one. You notice in the country these days, people can just give themselves titles when they are not even trained, just like the cases we have of illegal rehabilitation centers around the country. They think they are qualified to rehabilitate people. They are actually putting people through slavery again, not rehabilitating them. They are putting them through more mental torture. So when seeking counseling in marriage, it's always advised you seek professional advice, not self-acclaimed counselors, marriage counselors.
Okay, so what are the things we are supposed to do to keep marriage moving?
Like I said earlier on, you have to spice it up.
Yeah.
The foundation has to be solid. It needs to be with love.
Third.
You need to communicate with your partner. You need to be open.
Yeah.
You need to come to a compromise. You need to agree on a lot of things. Ensure you come to compromise. Your wife might say she wants this book here. You say, no, I like the book this way.
Okay.
This thing alone can break the home. Because if you say I don't agree, it must be my own. It must be your own. At least you should come to agreement. You either hide it your way or let's keep it at the middle.
Okay, that reminds me. So in this marriage situation of a thing, maybe it comes to sex and the woman said, I'm tired and I don't want you to come close to me, and the man will be like, I need it, you have to give it to me.
That's why I also say compromise. But from the background, you also hear the biblical injunction that will say a woman should be submissive to the husband. So a lot of men take advantage of that anyway. But on the second thought, you need to still be considerate as a man.
Good.
Because one, you need to put a lot of things into consideration, like her mood.
Yeah.
Because it's meant for both parties to enjoy. It's not selfish for selfish gains or selfish reasons. It's for both parties to enjoy and for procreation. But if in a case you only have your satisfaction and your wife do not, it makes no sense. You need to come to a compromise. That's why I talk of coming to compromise in a lot of issues. And I think, but a lot of men, when they become understanding, women also take advantage of that part.
Okay.
And so you two need to be open and be real with your husband.
So it's all about being real.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know, maybe I went too far asking you about sex, this and all of that. But then we are still
no, we also
on reality.
ambassadors,
So
it's reality because
it's
we're
reality.
also advocates of teaching sex education.
Okay.
Even at not universal basic education level, but senior secondary level. Because it's reality of life. So it's things that if you don't teach them the proper things, peer group will teach them the wrong thing.
Okay, that is the peer health.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Education.
Yes.
So that's a very wonderful explanation, Mr. Isaac. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
It's nice being here too.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we've come to the end of today's episode on Reality and You. Thanks for staying with us. I'm here to Justus. Bye for now.